Well, my friends, here we go again. Today, the philosophy about my Pat the Cat Army training, what I do. We are here at the tower, you know, I train at the stairs with a kettlebell and other exercises, and I go from one location to another. We have the most beautiful one, you know that, with the orange building above the stairs. Then we have the tower, here we are. Then we have the toughest, which is really the most brutal here. And we have the park with the stairs beside the river. Now have a watch at this. Here we have the tower. You know why it's called the tower? You see it. And this is really tough, and I will explain you today why I'm doing that, what is my philosophy behind. You know, I get nothing for that. If people think, boy, he does this training to get something or to get recognition, I tell you something. When I make those videos, most of the time I get the thumbs up. So those videos destroy normally my channel, you know, because people don't like it, they gave the things up. And when you should always make one channel, you know, one channel with the same thing and not change, for example, by me, one sport to other sport. It's not good. But I do that because it is my philosophy, and here we are. You see that? You can watch my videos. We have in Pat the Cat Army, number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you can watch them. And it's really tough. So we go on a little bit. And what I'm doing here, you know, I make almost every time the same complete rhythm from the exercises. The first thing is to warm up. Very important. Warm up is the A and O from everything, you know, because when you don't warm up, the risk what you do there to damage yourself, to get injuries, is very high. And we have a big resistance what we are doing there. And after the warm up, you know, you can watch this. After that, I make shadow boxing with weights. I use 1 kilo weights. They are not that heavy, but I make it very fast, you know. First I warm up, I box a little bit, and when I have done this few combinations, there also the heartbeat goes up, the shoulders have to work, the triceps, and then I make quick movements, combinations as quick as possible with those weights. And there you can believe me, the pump goes really up, and it takes a lot of energy out of your shoulders, of your triceps. And that you normally don't do, you know. This is a complete other training than in studios, you know. I don't say it is better or worse, but I'm in the game since 30 years. Yeah, I'm doing fitness. You can say now, well, you're not big, this, that. Yeah, I was always thin, but to me, you know, I do it for me. I get nothing for it, you know. I don't sell something. And to me, it is the perfect way to do it, you know. So, and when we have the combinations done, then I make very quick punches, you know, as quick as possible. And that means, if you have never boxed, the heartbeat goes up completely high. And then really after that, you are standing here and you have to breathe out. Yeah, to breathe out because you are done. And that is the thing what people never do. And that is very important to me. Why? Think of this, when you're in a boxing ring, they start slow. No one goes in and punch and this and that. And also in other sports, the people are not used that in the first minute of a game or whatever, that they are on that level from the heartbeat. If they would do that, then they are very quick over. And we do that in that training before our main training starts. And then I make 2 sets, left and right foot, for as a left hander and a right hander, in easy words, you know, for the non-boxers. And then I make uppercuts also as quick as possible with those weights. So the heartbeat is completely up, yeah. Then you are finished already when you have to start your workout. And also it takes all out of your shoulders and triceps when you box that. But there it is also, if someone tries it out and has never boxed or such things, he will not make that quick and on, so he will not have the experience. It's also always a thing, yeah. And when we have done this, then it starts from above where we are right now. Then I walk all down by crawling. on my hands and on my feet. What is this exercise? I have this from the Shaolin monks. Over 20 years ago, I have seen this when they have done this at the Shaolin temple in China. By the way, I have an original Shaolin sword at my home, what I got from the Shaolin monks. Watch that nice view. You see how high we are? The tower. And then I crawl it down, and the Shaolin monks have done this, for example, at their temple in China, and they do that every morning. They run up to the Bodhidharma cave, where Bodhidharma was meditating. I think it was 9 years or 11 years. And then the history says when he moved up, a shadow was behind of him, you know. And then they crawl all down. So this is an exercise which is very safe when you do that, you know. When you start this, and that goes really enormous in your shoulders, in your triceps, and this is already done. And when you crawl down, the abs has to work, also your feet. You will not believe it, but your feet also. And it is a safe way to get resistance in the shoulder and in the tricep. You know, when you make presses, yeah, or a lot of weight, such things, most people, when they do it for years, and I don't talk for 3 years, 5 years, you know, this nowadays, boy, I train since 5 years, I never had something, yeah. Make it 15 years, 20 years, then we will watch, you know. Then you may have an impingement, this, that. When the people get 35, 40, then they finish their training because they have pain, injuries. I don't want this, you know. I have made back in the days also Turkish get-ups with half of my body weight. I made right and left-handed, you know. I made pull-ups with half of my body weight hanging on a dip, on a thing beside of me, you know, and then made pull-ups. I made also, it's not much maybe, but with 100 kilo the squats and all those stuffs, but I don't want this anymore. First of all, I had a lot of injuries, but not from training, you know, I had operations, this, that, and so heavy lifting, every doctor says to me, no, it's not good for me, you know, I had the hernia and this and that. And so crawling is really a good way, because all overhead is most of the time over years or decades not the best, but to crawl I have the resistance and it is better. Why? Because we have more space in the shoulder when we have it in that position than always to go up this, you know. So we have strengthened the shoulders with the weights in the shadow boxing, then the quick shadow box, and then we crawl all down, and you know that is really tough. And you have all levels here. When you're good enough, you crawl all down by once, but then you have to be world class, you know, because your abs will give up. And if you are a beginner, you walk down and you crawl only on the flat, you know, so you can level up all, and it is very, very safe. Also for your wrist, when people have wrist problems, you know. Normally, such on the floor, it doesn't go, but we grab it like this with the finger here. So also there it is very safe, you know. And after that, I make push press with my kettlebell all up again, you know. We go down, we crawl down, and then we go all up here. And the push press, you can say now, yeah, that is exactly that movement. No, it is not. Because I make it from the legs, bam, you know, bam, and here comes the energy. The legs make the kettlebell up, but also the shoulder has to work, especially at the end of the stairs when it gets really hard. But the thing is, when I make the push press with my legs, then I overcome exactly that space where normally you don't have much space in the shoulder, yeah, and so I don't damage it. And believe me, there are a lot of stairs, and when you have first make the shadow box and then we have crawled down, yeah, and then to go up, that is really, really tough for your shoulders and triceps, and also for your legs, because the crawling was also going to your legs, and your heartbeat will always be up. You go to the limit, you know. When you are in a gym, normally no one is falling down or this, you know what I mean. This is the other style, but it's not better. Is you can do whatever you want, but to me it is the perfect way, and I can go to the limit but without getting damaged. You know, when you do this with a lot of weight, I use always a 10 kilo kettlebell because it is the best to me. And I can level it up that the last exercise, the last resistance stairs get really, really hard, you know. You can manage this how you do it. I go one stairs, one row, I go right-handed, left-handed. Or you go twice right-handed. You can level this completely up, you know. And a long resistance with a lot of repetition can also bring you something. Of course, you will not get the strongest person in the world. Of course, you will not compete at the athletic high jump or wide jump or such things. Of course not. You know? You will not be the best skier in the world. There you have to make your squats with 150, 200 kilo, you know. But that is not healthy, you know. But it is what it is, you know. People will see that when they have trained 20 years, then maybe they say the same, you know. And so when we have done this, then I go down again, and then I walk up with the kettlebell squats, but I don't make the deep squats. I make so half squats, and it is really, believe me, the legs are finished, and the legs are so burning. This more endurance strength, you know, not, but also you can, believe me, you can also put up 80 kilos without never have trained this, because when you do this, you can do that, but you don't have to destroy your joints, you know. And that is my philosophy behind that. And then after all that, you know, all is out, then I make push-ups, and there it also depends. I make it very, very strict, you know, with the elbow this, and I go down completely, almost chest to the floor, and not bam, don't let me fall down. I go slow down and slow back. That is completely a different story than to make it quick or a few centimeters above. No, it's complete other, you know. And then I make my my pull-ups, and then I make the Australian pull-ups where I be on my feet. Believe me, that is really hard, and that means I have gone to my limit where you really sweat. You see, I can press out my t-shirt without having the risk of injuries, without having the risk to damage my joints. And I can also play on the next day or maybe 2 days again, street ball, basketball, or do other sport. Do that when you lift really heavy. You will not do it the next day. You know, this is all reasons what I have there, what brings something to me. And you know, that is proven. The Shaolin monks, for example, you can say that the fighting style is all different story, but they are really, really fit in doing that, you know. And it also depends what body do you want to get. A bodybuilding body, yeah, then forget this training. Don't make this. You know, and also I don't take supplements. I'm not a fan of it. I take nothing, you know, from those protein powder and creatine and this and that. You know, you can do it, no problem, but you know, I come more from a medicine background, and when you talk there with doctors and things, most of them will tell you don't take anything. You know why? Because it is not healthy over years, but it is healthy for the companies that they get the money. But on the other side, of course, nowadays watch people from the 90s when you are from there, and nowadays, young people, how they look, the bodies, they are completely different. They have 10 kilo more, 15 kilo more muscle mass, you know, because they are taking things which is legal, you know. But I'm not a fan of that, you know. I don't want this. And also the stairs, you know. I mean, ask Lee Haney, for example. He's the most successful bodybuilder of all time, you know. I was very much into bodybuilding, beside Ronnie Coleman, 8-time Mr. Olympia. And what does he tell you? Everybody is different, and you should watch out that you don't lift too much. But too much is always what is too much, you know. For example, for other one, deadlift 100 kilo is really, really much, and for the other one, the limit is 200 kilo, and they say, wow, you're strong. Then I can tell you, I've seen people who lift twice as much as 200 kilo, who lift 400 kilo. You know, I've seen some of the strongest persons ever, who ever lived, for example, a Mark Henry, I've seen, you know. And that is always the point. And stairs, walking, you know, your bump goes, you always do something. And have you ever heard a doctor telling you, when you have, for example, back pain, he will tell you you should do resistance training. Yeah, of course, most of them are not experts in that, but they will tell you resistance training, but you will never hear that they tell you you should lift 100 kilo. They will never tell you. They will say, no, please not, please not. You know what I mean? And also, when people are older, what can they do? They can walk stairs. That is a good training, that the heartbeat goes up and that they drain a little bit, you know, when they are 80, 90 years. And to the push-ups, pull-ups, people with 80 years, 90 years can do it, but they will not lift heavy weights, because when people have lifted over decades heavy weights, then most of them have pain and problems. And I also trained back in the days so much that I had always pain after the training, you know. And then I thought, why I'm doing that? Not pain because you make it incorrect, no, because it was really heavy. It was heavy, and then you have to rest 2-3 days, you know. I'm not in that lifestyle that I train, wait, train, wait, eat. No, I want to do sports every day. And so you have to find a solution where you can go to the limit, where it brings something to you, and where you can push yourself. And here you can go really to the limit, but with a really good thing. And believe me, you can bring on really talented, good guys. If they have never experienced that training, they will come absolutely to the limit. They are not used up that the heartbeat is up when they start the training. And believe me, that is really, really tough, you know. Really, really tough and really cool. I'm in the fresh air, you know, I have the view of that. That is relaxing, you know, that is really relaxing, you know. For example, I've seen now so a half bodybuilder, you know, a little bit trained, not much, was really aggressive because a bee or something was flying to him, he didn't check it, and then he was shouting in the street, bah, 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 and was completely over, you know, complete complexes. Because he means he's big, you know, forget it, you know, that means nothing. When you're on the street, if you're a little bit big, that means nothing, you know. It's a other story, but you know what I mean. So I can relax here. I have the nice view, I have my fresh air, I can go to the limit, and that is pretty cool, you know. And it is healthy, and that it is, you know. Yeah, and so here we are, Pat the Cat Army training. You can try it out if you want. I can tell you something, you can ask me. But really, there's nothing against others or other systems. Every what he wants. But to me, that fits in perfect. And I have tried out 30 years, all different kind of stuff. And this is the best way to do it. To combine endurance, strength, speed, mental power. You need a lot of mental power. If you want to do that, you have to be mental very, very tough, otherwise you will not achieve it, you know. And that it is, and you can do that for many, many, many years, yeah. For decades, you know. And also do the push-ups and pull-ups. You know, for example, Jack LaLanne, one of the fittest guys ever at his age with 80, 90 years, he could do push-ups and pull-ups, you know. And when you see that, then you know that in that age those exercises are good, but they will not lift 100, 200 kilos when they are 80 years. And there you see it, you know, and that it is. So we have done it. We will see us again at the stairs, and then yeah, that it is. Until then, bye and ciao.